Right. So one of the worst parts about PoE2, outside of endgame of course, is the passive skill tree. And this is because of a few reasons. But today I want to kind of show a visualization of how much of the skill tree is bad. How much of it you will almost never use. So I've gone through and I've selected every passive skill point in 5 areas of the tree, right? And oops. Well, I guess the druid is a bit screwed up, but that's fine. Um, yeah, and I'll talk about each one of them. I didn't do witch because I don't really play spells, um, and I don't really play minions. So yeah, I didn't do witch, but I've heard it's pretty bad too. So yeah, anyway, um, why is the passive tree bad? Is it just no life on the tree? Is it something else? What's going on with it? Well, there is a few things that have been changed from going from PoE1 to PoE2 that make the passive skill tree worse. This is the warrior starting area, or rather this is the warrior area, and this is what I've cut. Now, not every node that I cut is like useless, but most of them are like really bad. And I want to talk why. And I want to talk about why that is. First of all, life regen. Life regen is in a pretty bad spot in PoE2. It's just you don't really get a lot of it, which is weird because recovery as a whole outside of regen is that you have a lot of access to it, right? Leech is one of the strongest recoveries that we've ever seen, which is insane because region is so bad and Leech is so good, it just makes no sense. Leech is that good to a point where you don't even need to invest into any Leech. You don't need to. You don't need to get any Leech because it is just that good. Baseline. You wouldn't notice this because right now a lot of builds have issues getting max hit, getting their just overall health pool up. So you don't really notice Leech being insane, but it is. It is really good. Regen, however, is kind of bad. As you can see, these small nodes give life regeneration rate. So there's not a whole lot of percent regen. There's not a whole lot of base regen to go off of. And there is just a lot of this, you know, regen rate or regen while moving or some other garbage, right? And it just nobody wants to pick this up. Like, look at this regen max life, regen life when you don't know life. Like, who wants to pick this? Nobody will ever pick this. So almost all regen on the tree is bad. Not all of it, right? But almost all of it. Next, accuracy. Accuracy just feels like it does not have a place in PoE2. Melee skills don't really need accuracy because in PoE2 now accuracy is based on distance to enemy. So if you're playing a melee build, you just kind of don't really need accuracy. And if you're playing a ranged build, you're probably running dexterity because you kind of need it to run ranged weapons, and dexterity gives you accuracy. So there is just no real point in accuracy, right? Last patch, people used to run accuracy because they used to like stack it. They run accuracy stackers. That has been nerfed. Pretty sure it's nerfed into the ground. I have not checked, but I'm pretty sure it's dead. So you don't even accuracy stack anymore. So like, what's the point? Um, I just wanted to say, like, from 548, give and take a few points, the amount of useful passives we have in the warrior that you would like run is like 309. So almost half of the passives you would like most of these you would never take. Right? Like most of these you would never take. I've talked about accuracy, life regen. There's thorns. Um, where is it? There's thorns here somewhere. It's bad, right? Um, it's just kind of like a boomer gameplay with the thorns. Um, it's not useless. So like if you like thorns builds, sure, but 99% of players don't play those builds, so it's just like kind of pointless. Um, Next, flask effect nodes. Flasks are pretty strong. They're actually not bad. You just don't really need to invest into flask nodes to make flasks good or to make them decent. They're just like baseline, they're good. So all of these flask nodes are pretty bad. Um, yeah, look, another weird ass node here, life regen node. Again, you would never take that. Um, Charges are in a bad spot. Pretty much every charge is in a bad spot, and it just has to do with the fact that they don't give any passive bonuses. They just don't. They're kind of like a builder spender type mechanic now, and it's kind of hard building them in a lot of cases. It's I wouldn't say it's hard. It's just tedious, and I've talked about this in a previous video. Nobody likes tedious. Nobody likes to. If any part of a combo is clunky or feels bad or is just weak, nobody wants to do the combo, right? So charges are in a bad spot. Keystones are also in a bad spot. A lot of keystones in this game are just bad. Resolute technique is, I mean, on paper it's not bad if you're not playing a crit build, but you never need accuracy. And then what's the point of resolute technique if you like hit without it, right? Um, Other keystones that are bad, bulwark. Maybe I haven't seen anyone use this. Maybe it's a skill issue. Maybe I don't know, but it seems pretty bad. Unwavering stance, one of the worst keystones in the game. Um, this even got nerfed when sprint was added to the game. This unironically got nerfed. Before the sprint patch, this used to have cannot be stunned, I think, or light stunned, whatever, and cannot dodge roll. And then when sprint got added, it just they put like cannot dodge roll or sprint on top. So like they just made this even worse than it is. Um, it's just it's just kind of stupid. We have a few good ones, I guess. Avatar of Fire, Blood Magic is pretty good. I don't know if anyone's running Chance Blood anymore, but it's decent, I guess. So there's a few good ones, but I'll talk about the other ones as well. Keystones are not in a good spot. Glory, we have a lot of glory wheels on the tree, and it's just bad. They've um, they've kind of they've kind of missed on glory skills. All of the glory skills used to be long cooldown based stuff before, and then they changed it to the glory system. They were too good before, and everyone was using them because there was no reason not to run Hammer of Gods, especially when it's like cooldown based. But now that it's glory based, I don't think a lot of people are running glory, and there's so many passives of this, it makes no sense. Stun threshold. There's a lot of stun threshold on the tree everywhere. Nobody clicks this. You just don't really need it. And even if you would, you would just click one of these and it's fine. So stun threshold is also bad. Nobody clicks those. What else is there? Yeah, there's a bunch of these presence AoE and aura nodes. All of these nobody really clicks, so that's also a problem. I've unclicked like totem nodes as well. Most people don't play totems, and like with the latest patch, like I think the amount of people playing totems have been reduced as well, with the whole charge system being baked into totems now. So once you remove everything, I also remove crit nodes. A lot of people don't run crit nodes because it's kind of hard in this specific area of the tree. So all in all, this is what you're left with. And then once you factor in that maybe you're not running an elemental build, you just unclick a bunch of nodes, right? Maybe you don't care about duration, you just unclick a bunch of nodes, right? Like you get to a point where your tree is just kind of built for you. There's not there's not a whole lot of room to do things. This is where life would be interesting because it would give you something to click. um Life on tree has been a pretty big debate, and technically you don't need it. Like I could see a world in which life isn't on the tree and it works, but they just need to give us like good defenses to build into on the tree. If they're not gonna give us life, they're gonna need to give us other things to spec into, fortify, better regen. I don't know, like something interesting as well. Um, they just haven't. They gave us fucking deflection. It's dog shit. Nobody wants to click that. So yeah, though another thing that is kind of bad is skills that convert their damage. Damage conversion in PoE 2 works differently from PoE 1 in that you cannot scale the original damage type of the skill. If you convert a skill to fire, 100% converted fist to fire, you will not be able to click on physical nodes to scale that skill. And that's not how it works in PoE 1. You can scale both the initial and the end result. In PoE 2 you can't. So a lot of skills have this thing where they they're like 70% converted, 50%, 80%, and just the last 20% is kind of nowhere to be seen, right? You can't there's no ways to convert yet. They haven't gave us anything to convert yet. You can do Avatar of Fire, I guess, if you want, but it's about it. So all skills that convert Fizz to something, they suffer because if your skill converts 50 Fizz to Fire, all of these nodes that give you like bonuses to fire, they're only half as effective. So you're kind of forced to pick generic nodes. On a lot of builds, you're just kind of forced to pick generic stuff. So you end up seeing the same passives clicked over and over and over again. There's only one wheel for each weapon type. So there's only one wheel for maces. And this goes for all weapon types. I'm not sure why they did this. I'm not sure what made them choose this, but it just makes no sense because if you're playing maces, you're always gonna click this. If you're playing whatever bows, crossbows, you're always gonna click that particular wheel. So it just makes no sense. Is there anything else here on the? No, not. I mean, there's some weird stuff like this attack speed, but it's it's conditional. There's a lot of conditionals on the tree as well, which are pretty much useless a lot of the times. Yeah, let's move on to Merc. Merc 674 with some travel nodes, give and take a few, like 20 nodes. And then this is what I cut down. This is what you see people run. We have a lot of the usual threshold, knockback distance stuff that you'll never see being used. Um, Life regenerate and reduce effect of curse and some garbage. It's not very good. Nobody clicks this. I guess you could click this, but yeah. Exposure effect. Maybe it's good. Nobody clicks that. You have a lot of banner stuff. Nobody likes banners. There's like 30 passives for banners, some more for glory. Nobody clicks those. Stun threshold. It's kind of useless. Life recovery rate. Not the best. Leech. Nobody wants that. Weird conditionals. Nobody wants those. And another thing that we see here is this kind of stuff. Surrounded nodes. And these are pretty bad. There are builds that want this. The surrounded helmet is pretty good. But if you don't want to do surrounded, so if you don't want to wear the helmet, nobody will spec into these. These were essentially useless before the helmet came out. So all of these surrounded nodes are terrible. If you don't want to use the helmet, again, you will never click this. They're there only for the helmet and that's it. Nobody else uses them. Really bad. More conditionals, damage against demons, duration of, like, what is this? Who wants to pick this? Like, this is one of the worst nodes. It's just ass. Deflection, another bad mechanic. Nobody wants to spec into evasion squared. Nobody wants to click that. What else do we have here? Ballistas. Again, just like totems. Most people don't. It's not, like, ballistas and totems being on the tree is not bad. It's just most people don't play that, so I just ticked them off to show kind of like how much of the passive tree is bad, right? More flask nodes. Who cares? Bunch of accuracy. Again, who cares? Stun recovery. Who cares? Um, a lot of I've left a lot of ailment in here, but a lot of it is bad. Ailments are in a pretty bad spot, so even though I've left a lot of these bleed nodes in, that doesn't mean that they're good. It just means that I guess they could be playable. Iron reflexes, nobody really runs it, so maybe I'm wrong on this one, on this particular one, but yeah. Um, glancing blows, glancing blows. Who runs this? Another keystone that is kind of bad. Valpact, who runs this? Nobody runs this. Another keystone that is bad. Yeah, you're left with 360 points from 670, so like almost half the points are just you would never take, and the rest are situational. It's not like they're like you always want them. um Stuff like pin, if you're not doing pin, then you lose another, I don't even know how many passives, like 30 passives or something. Pretty bad. Pretty bad. Huntress is kind of weird. This is what I cut. Yeah. 371 from about 680, again, give and take. And here there is just a bunch of accuracy that has no place. There's stuff like the cunning fox. Who wants this? Nobody really. There's charm stuff. Nobody cares about charms. They're in a bad spot. Deflection, again, we've seen a little bit of it in the Merc area. Now on the Huntress area, even more of it. Hazard. There's no hazards in the game yet. There's one good hazard skill, and that is the spear field, I think, and that's it. So all of the hazard stuff is kind of useless. There's a lot of parry nodes here. Parry is a fun mechanic, but it falls off after like the first few acts. That's kind of bad. We have a lot of flask nodes as well here. Nobody wants those. Stun recovery, again, nobody runs that. We have like conditionals against enemies that have existed in your presence recently. Like, who wants that? Nobody. Um, yeah. Damage during flask effect, again, nobody clicks on that. Overall, a lot of passives that you would never really run. Some weird, some weird attributes nodes, some weird ignite nodes. Magnitude of ignite against poisoned enemies. I mean, sure, but who wants that? Yeah, just overall terrible. You go from 680 to 371. And then obviously if you're not doing ailments, then you lose even more. You like you want to take a whole there's a lot of ailments on this side of the tree. So, just by not doing ailments, I already cut another 40 points or whatever. Just just at a glance, right? If you don't want to do like bows, for example, you already lose so much. Look at this. Just look at this. This is insane. Like look at this. Yeah, I'm already at like 280 just by not doing bows and not doing ailments. It's a very bad situation overall. Monk 600. I might have missed a few, but here's what I cut. 370 again, not quite half, but um a lot of like life recovery from flasks, a lot of leech nodes, nobody wants those. Some accuracy, nobody really runs that. Some stun threshold, nobody runs that. Some like damage if you've triggered recently. If you're running triggers, these are not useless, but not everyone's running them. So most builds are not running them, so I just kind of untick those. We have traps, which are not in the game yet. We have daggers, they're not in the game yet. We have some ignite and duration of ailments, flammability magnitude. You're not doing ignite up here, so I don't know. Hollow palm technique, really bad keystone. Nobody runs that. I think I forgot to talk about keystones down here, but keystones are kind of bad here as well. Dance with Death. People don't run this. Um, Even though people want more skill speed, I feel like nobody runs this. Crimson Assault is not very good. What else do we have? We have Trusted Kinship. It doesn't do much. I guess it's not useless, but again, it doesn't do much. Heartstopper is kind of nerfed from its past self. Um, yeah, so not a lot of keystones in the monk area. We have chaos inoculation, which is good, but and resonance, but yeah, keystones are in a bad spot overall. We have volatility, kind of a meme mechanic. I think we have deflection. Yeah, we have a bunch of deflection nodes. You don't run those. Um, Monk is in a bit of a better state than other areas. I feel like it's a bit it's a bit more diverse, but yeah, just you almost lose half the passives again. Skipping Witch because I don't play it. And then we are at Druid. And you'll see a lot of stuff. This is again a bit better. I don't have the version where every point is allocated. But this one is a bit better. I've got totems and I've got minions. And I think I didn't cut spells or yeah, I did cut some spell stuff. Um, but like Druid is a bit better. It's a bit better. Still, keystones are a bit whack, but I guess Druid is in a better spot. Still, you have the charge stuff which nobody takes. You have stuff that is very just like very situational that nobody takes. What is this? Regen life while stationary, increase life regenerate while stationary. Nobody wants that. We have accuracy, minion stuff, which is unpopular. So yeah, overall, you do see like a pattern here among all of the spots on the skill tree. Accuracy, uh, defenses are you don't have them, so we don't have interesting defenses. Any ailment stuff is in a bad spot. All of the stun threshold and regen is in a bad spot. Just it needs help. The passive tree is one of the worst things about this game, and I hope it gets better. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Thank you.